All right, back at you. What's today's day? Today's August 22nd already. August 22nd, 2021. Today's a Sunday. It doesn't feel like it. It's still noisy outside, but it's nice. It's beautiful, as you can see, man. It's like, why is that man walking on the highway? Technically speaking, it's not the highway. From where I'm from, this would be considered like a highway. It's like this nigga walking on the highway, but this is not the highway, and it's not the side of the road. It's not in the bush somewhere. This is the city. It ain't New York City, but it's a city. Feel me? Anyway, there's a few things we can speak about, man. I want to talk about, do we have the right, or not even a right, can we as humans, not race, I said humans, which means all of us, can we as humans question God? Can we question if God exists? You feel me? There's a few, doggy. There's a few arguments that came out that people are saying that, yeah, we can't question God, because if we cannot question God, then who are we? Da, da, da. And I'm like, all right, that's a fact. We can question God. Like, we can ask questions about God. We can ask God a question, but people don't even believe in that idea of even asking God a question. You feel me? I got to go through the breakdown of it, because it's like they don't believe that there's a God that you can ask a question to. You feel me? So they want to question the existence of God itself. We're going to get into that. You see, I'm saying, in my mind, when I heard about it, I'm like, yeah, you can always ask God a question. He's always there for you, honey. But it was like, no, you're not understanding, bro. It's not about asking God a question. It's about questioning if there is even a person to speak to who's not even there. It's like you speaking to an invincible person. I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. You want to know if it's not crazy that you're just speaking to somebody that you don't believe is there. You feel me? Say they want to know, like, okay, can we question that identity? Can we question if there is even a God in the first place to begin with? So we're going to dive into that question, not asking God a question. Of course, you can always ask God a question. So there's a lot of things that we don't understand. And the question is also raised, like, if you're going to make that argument, you cannot quote things from the Bible because they don't believe in the Bible itself. So you speaking to, and you dealing with people who don't believe in the book itself. They don't believe in God. They don't believe in the idea of God. They believe that they are the God themselves. You feel me? So it's like when you speak to these people, you can't be like, well, the Bible said. You can't use the Bible as a reference, because they don't believe in that shit. They be like, well, that's where you go wrong again. You out here quoting a book that somebody else wrote named King James, and another book, and this book's missing. You feel me? So it's like you speaking to a group of people who just don't believe at all. So how do you start a conversation with people who don't believe at all, and they think that you're a fool for believing? Where do you even start from? What code do you quote? You got to start with ourselves as humans. Are we alive? Me and you, are we having this conversation? Yes, we are having this conversation. Boom. How did we get here in order for us to have this conversation in the first place? How did the language itself form? Yet we are still using a language that we don't know how it came about. You feel me? But yet we believe it, but because we're using it because it's convenience to us. Freeloaders. You feel me? You feel me? They don't question these things, but yet they want to question if there's a God. You feel me? These are the things that you got to dive into. You see, these are the things that you got to dive into. You feel me? That's how you got to start with them. You got to start with the reality that they're in right now. All right, cool. Who designed the clothes that you're wearing right now? It's going to be an in and out situation. In and out. I have to come all the way out here just to get what I want. I don't even know how much money I got on me. Oh, whoa, I thought I lost my money. Niggas will rob you and call you. Y'all have better deals with this kind of system?
That's why if you want some advice and you're going for that, just get on it.
This kind of lasts a little longer.
No, these will last much longer. Here's the thing though, all of these bags are super 5. You're getting a lot more value getting 4 of these bags than you are even getting 2 of these bags. Huh?
It's done already. I like to have more. This is also 2 for 5 right here.
Every single one of these bags is all 2 for 5. It's mix and match, and you have hard done. That's why I had to buy them now.
Oh, it's a mix and match.
Yeah, it's just 5.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Thanks. What else do I can't? Where did I come from? I know what I mean. That's how we get. Oh wait, let's try this again. Darling, sweetheart. Come on back. Invalid 10, try that one more time.
I think I never put it in.
Try your card again.
Oh, my card again. Sorry.
Check in every once in a
Hey,
while. Alright, do me a favor. Pause on doing cards. Look around the road for a second. We're having a little trouble. Then back, young strapping, no he ain't the OG. You feel me? Just came out the store. People misbehave. That's part of life, man. But one thing I do not like, right? I know it's off the topic, but the topic itself been off for a while. People misbehave, and that's part of life. But one thing I do not like is the fact that you want to be the only one that misbehaves. When somebody look at you, whatever you do, somebody's looking at you and seeing if it works for them. You feel me? So when you do something, but you selfish, you only want you to be the only person that does it, right? Hear me out. It's gonna make sense in a minute. You want to be the only person that do it, right? When other people copy you and do what you're doing, here you are trying to play Captain Save a Hoe or Captain Save a Nigga. If you don't want You don't have to save nobody if you just stop yourself from doing it. People look at you and see what you're doing to me, and they copy the same things you do. So there's no need for you to even resort in trying to stop others from doing it, because you want to be the only person that do it. That's the problem with niggas, you feel me? That's the problem, you feel me? When you niggas get mad, I seen that a lot from people close to me. When they get mad at you, they do all kinds of shit to you. Then other people are looking and watching. So when these people, they always mad at you anyway. When these people get the opportunity to do something to you, they're gonna do the same thing that they seen other people that was close to you doing it. You feel me? And that's just the truth, my nigga. They watch you niggas do what y'all do. Then when you get called out and y'all gotta back down because they got eyes on you now, guess what happens? Other people do the same thing that you was doing when they was watching you. And now you mad, you trying to point things out that you did. You can't be a hypocrite, man. They only doing the things that you was doing. That's it. So you can't be pointing out what they're doing and be like, look at that. They're wrong for doing that. No, they watch you do it. That's where they got to learn them from. You feel me? And I seen people who were close to me. That did the same thing. You feel me? And they be like, oh, and I'm like, no. They learned that from you. So stop it. I don't like that shit. If you don't want people doing that shit, control your emotions. How about that? You control your emotions. Once you control your emotions, people wouldn't know how to do these things. They ain't got it in them. You the evil one. Y'all the evil one. Y'all the one that they look at and pay attention to and do these things to. Let's be for real. You feel me? Just call it for what it is. All right, back to the subject itself. About people who do not believe in God, who do not believe in the Bible itself, who believe that the Bible is just holding people back, and God is just a figmentation of our imagination. They say, was God created? Because they said God created us on His own image. But they turned around and said we created God in our own image. You feel me? They make good points here and there. But I raised the question, where did you learn how to speak? You feel me? How did you learn how to use your tongue? Where did you learn how to do all these things? The car that you're driving, the food that you eat, the cultivating of farms and everything, all this information that you're using that you don't even know where it came from, but yeah, you've mastered it and you've made it into your own. How did you learn how to do these things? Where did all these things come from? You never ask those questions because you benefit from these things, right? Let the car pass. You benefit from these things. You use a technology. Let it pass. I'm using a device right now which is called an iPhone. I can't build an iPhone from scratch, but yet I benefit from it. The iPhone itself was copied from other companies before it. There was trials and tribulations before we got to this iPhone, and the iPhone is only going to upgrade, yet we benefit from it. You feel me? Then how come if we can look at an iPhone and see the benefits of it, we don't question it, we just use it because we benefit from it? Then how come we don't question the body that we in? This is not by chance. We benefit from this body itself. We know one thing for sure and two things for certain. If I get a cut today, that cut is not going to stay open forever. Eventually, that cut is going to heal itself. The body that we in right now heals itself. You feel me? You can get a bruise, and guess what happens? You can put some ice on it, or you can just leave it and nurture it. And guess what? The body heals itself. It has everything that you put into the body is already in the body itself. Every disease known to men, all these things. So how can you say in that very argument, they can turn that very argument and tell you, well, that's why we gods and everything else, and everything else like that. But you still not answering the question. Then they tell you, oh, the reason why we got language and everything else like that, because we made ourselves forget. Look at what they believe in. They believe that they made themselves forget so that they can have a human experience. They don't remember the time they made themselves forget. This is a hypothesis. They are willing to believe in that hypothesis. Hypothesis is just made up. They are willing to believe in that hypothesis and just disregard God himself. You feel me? Oh yeah, we made ourselves forget that we were God so we can have the human experience. That shit is not gonna work. You feel me? It's just not gonna work with people like myself and others. Now let's re-ask that question again. Do you have the right to question God? It's not even a matter of is there a God? No, there is a God. It's obvious because all your arguments. Whoa, there's somebody smoking that heavy ganja. I ain't smell that good. This shit smell like it was homegrown. This shit don't smell like no laboratory. Smell like it was grown. Smell like some good shit. This is the shit that will make you cough. This shit will hell everything. Anyway, look. You can't question. You don't have the right to question if God is real or not. Because you don't even have the right answers when you ask simple questions. Because most of the things that I ask of you, you already benefiting from, so you don't even question these things. You don't question what came about, how did you form this language that you speak that is English, and there's other languages that you don't even know how to speak. You haven't even mastered the realm that you in. You don't even know the limits of the body that you in. You don't even know how to treat other people the same as you wanted to be treated. You take advantage of others when nobody else is looking. You ain't even got these things down packed. Yet you want to question if there is a God. You want to question the description that the Bible have of what God stands for. You want to question all these things, but you don't even have the test to you ain't even pass the test to question yourself. You feel me? These niggas don't have the right to question God. They don't even have the right to question the existence of God because you don't even exist to question that kind of existence. You just don't. You feel me? You're an extinguisher. In my mind, you just don't exist at all. You feel me? So people who question God, the reason why they do these things because they can't live up to the demands of God. They know that, let it pass. I like to stay in the shade. Fuck that. And I know I'm black, but I need some shade. They don't want to believe in God anymore because the requirements is too much. You feel me? People are tired of being called hypocrites. You feel me? Because these niggas go to church every Sunday. You feel me? They sing Kumbaya. And then yeah. Praise the Lord and fall down and praise Jesus. It has become a mockery. And they're being called out on it. Like you don't believe in God, because if you believe in God, you don't believe in God. Because you believe in God, you wouldn't question. You wouldn't have these questions in mind. You would not. It's impossible for you to have those kind of questions in mind. You don't believe in God. The reason why you want to believe in God, you want to stop believing in God, because you can't live up to what it means to be a good person, to what it means to be a righteous person, and what it means to grow into divine person. You don't, it's like the requirements are too hard for you. You know you can't meet it. You're too infatuated and in love with malice and sinister ways of living. You're infatuated and you're in love with it. You feel me? You know that. You know for a fact if you was to take a look at your actions, that's why they say you would judge yourself. You would judge yourself, nigga. Because what happened to Judah? When Judah did everything else that he did, what did he do? He judged himself and hanged himself because he couldn't live with himself. You feel me? Your very actions, eventually after a while, when you take a look at what the Bible says and what God says, and you take a look at what you're trying to create, you be like, nah. You will feel so guilty about yourself that you will judge yourself. Now people are saying that, they're saying that we got the roles reversed. How can you say such a thing when we know right is right and wrong is wrong? If I smack the shit out of you right now, you wouldn't like it at all. Exactly, you would retaliate and try to fight me back. But if I buy you gifts and show you respect and show you love and show you integrity and show you some compassion and show you some sympathy, you would love that because you like the way it makes you feel. I don't give a fuck if you a baby still like the way that shit make them feel. If you hold a baby and you cuddle a baby and you take care of the baby and you rock the baby to sleep, the baby love how that shit feels. So we know what feels good and we know what feels bad. If I smack the shit out of a baby when they first come out the mother's womb, guess what they're doing? They're crying. So they know that shit don't feel good, right? The reason why these niggas won't stop believing in God, because they don't want to stop what they're doing. So they have to give away from God so they don't feel like hypocrites. So they can continue to do what they do. Because every time when they look up, there's guilt in front of them. You feel me? So their lifestyle does not match. Let me pass. Their lifestyle does not match the lifestyle of what the Bible is preaching. It's actually going against it. So in order for them to live their lifestyle and to feel free, because they want to feel free, even in sin, you can feel free. Reason why free is an illusion of the mind itself. In order for you to feel free, that's an illusion. That's just some made up shit. You feel me? So in order for them to feel free and not feel any guilty and not feel like Cain, because when Cain killed his brother, when Cain killed Abel, guess what happened? He was free in that moment. He had a relief. He was like, whew, I ain't got to compare myself to this nigga anymore. And he was just walking away, and God asked him, man, where's your brother at? And that's when it came back. That's when he realized. He's like, oh shit. You feel me? That's when he was on free again, because guilty conscience, it doesn't even have to be God. It could be guilty conscience. Guilty conscience was eating him. And his answer was, I'm not my brother's keeper. You feel me? You know the rest of the story. The reason why they got to respond that way, because they know it's true. Because every time they do something bad, they keep ripping pages out the Bible and throwing it away, each and every step. And by the time they realize they've ripped every page out the Bible and they can't relate to a book that's asking the best out of them. They can't be their best. They said this tax is too strong. I can't be that person you ask of me. So I can't even follow you anymore, because I know I'm a sinner and I can't come out of it. I'm too infatuated with doing wrong. I can't stop punching Jeffrey in the face. I can't stop looking at him. I can't stop stalking him. I can't stop doing wrong. So if that's the case, then I'm an atheist then. You see? Because the hate is so strong that I let these niggas neglect their religion. It's like, fuck Jesus, man. I can't even do this shit. This shit is crazy. That's what's going on. So all this religious, I start believing. We don't even believe in God. Yeah, because you live in a lifestyle of sin and you can't let go of that. Matter of fact, you find your identity in that sin. And if you let go of that, you're scared that you're not going to know who you are as a person. So you can't let go of the sinful ways that you're living in right now. So you have to hold on to it and neglect the only thing that matters in life, which is God itself. See what they're doing? They're confused. They don't know who they are. They're scared. They can't let that shit go. Because the thing that they found in the hating on me is too great. It gives them temporary relief. And every time they got to come back to it. So it's worth coming back to. Instead of just staying calm and just let God show them the way. You feel me? Don't believe in them. If you hear anybody telling you they don't believe in God, tell them niggas you a fucking lie. You feel me? Because you scared, that's what it is. You understand? Now bring the big niggas out. Feel me? Stop bringing this flimsy ass niggas, man.